My movie pick of the week is called The Ward. It's rated R. It comes out the 8th of July, 2011, starring Amber Heard, Danielle Panabaker, Rabbit Girl, Marnie Gummer, Lyndsy Fonseca, and Jared Harris. It's a John Carpenter movie, and, I got to tell you something. It's really weird. This movie was originally supposed to come out in January of 2011, and it didn't. It had some initial runs on a very limited basis, and it didn't really get whopping response. John Carpenter went back and recut it. At one point, they decided that they were going to do this just straight to DVD and Blu-ray, and then they ran into complications with John Carpenter because of the aspect ratio scenario. And I guess at that point, people kind of got a little bit pissed, especially John Carpenter, and said, "Well, hey, screw that. Then let's go ahead and run this thing and make whatever money we can, and with limited money spent on the promotion of the thing." And that's exactly where we are. You won't see any promos on this. You won't see anything. Just magically, it's going to appear on the 8th of July, and you're going to go, "Oh, it's a John Carpenter movie. I want to go see that." And hopefully, they're going to get enough people that come in to make it worthwhile on this rolling of the dice and gamble, if you will. But the fact that it has John Carpenter's name attached to it, I think, is going to really help it a great deal. Now, here's the interesting thing for me about this movie. I have been a fan of John Carpenter ever since the Halloween days, and even before that, The Fog and some of those. This movie to me is really, I think, a really nice blend of some of John Carpenter's magic that he's shown me over the years in all the movies that he's done. The movie basically is about a young lady that has woken up in a psychiatric hospital trying to figure out what the hell's going on, flashing back with her doctor, played by Jared Harris, and comes to find out that she burned down a farmhouse, and and she's trying to get to the bottom of everything. Well, in the course of all this other stuff, and in addition to becoming friends with some of the other loonies in the band, if you will, on the ward, she starts having visions of this ghost, if you will, of a girl. And, she's not really sure what it is, but it's creeping her the hell out. And, of course, as she sits there and tells the doctor, he's sitting there going, "Well, it's because of your psychosis and all this other stuff and all these other traumas that you're going through and whatever." And, not everybody believes her. A few of the girls that are in the psychiatric hospital with her have an affinity to believe her, but nobody else does. Well, like every movie that John Carpenter does, people start missing. We start out with 6, and then we're down to 5 and 4, and before you realize it, the all the actors are disappearing in this movie, and from that point, this really, to me, gets really creepy. Now, it's creepy all the way through the thing. I pulled my feet up a couple of times, even though it was on DVD here in Rabbit Hole Theaters. But, I pulled my foot up a couple of times because this has got some really creepy moments in it. And I think, it's just going to be a lot of fun. I mean, in July, we got all this stuff coming out, from DC Comics and all the stuff coming out from Marvel. And it's just a nice little change of pace. I love science fiction / horror. I love the genre of those two. And this, I think, does a lot of justice to John Carpenter and some of the things that he's been capable of doing over the years. Now, if you don't know anything about The Ward, which I'm sure you don't, what's this here?
What's the first thing you remember? Fire.
What's your name? Kristen.
Welcome to The Ward, your new home.
Why am I here?
You can't get them to tell you anything. Sometimes they take people away and they don't come back.
If I were you, I'd watch out, new girl. There's a ghost in here.
I'm sure you believe you saw what you say.
I'm not crazy. She's the last one that got out. She was one of us, but she's gone now.
And now she's going to kill us all.
You've got to deal with them.
We have to get out of here. Get her in a straitjacket. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Okay, there you go. John Carpenter and The Ward, rated a strong R for violence and graphic images. Comes out the 8th of July of 2011. Starring Amber Heard, Rabbit Girl Danielle Panabaker, Marnie Gummer, Lyndsy Fonseca, and, of course, Gerald Harris. And be sure and go check it out. I tell you, I'm glad that they're releasing it in the big theater, because even though I've seen it as a preview, I want to go see it in the big live theater, because half the fun for me as a movie critic is going into the theaters and watching other people's reactions to things that I know that's already going to come. And even more fun, a lot of times, is movies that I don't get a chance to review, sitting in the theater and experiencing that with everybody on that initial run. So I think you're going to have a good time with it. Again, strong R, because it's got some really graphic stuff. This isn't one for the kiddos, but I think the adults will have a good time with it. The Ward comes out the 8th of July, 2011. I think you're going to enjoy this flick.